What's happening to everyone? All right, I didn't get an opportunity to do my top 10 NBA list. Andre and Bob did theirs, and I kind of wanted to sit back and listen to theirs and see how they voted and see how they changed that top 10 list. Sometimes I feel like, well, let's not say just them. It's a lot of people, even the NBA analysts sometimes vote with their heart, and I get it. You know, your boyhood hero, you've seen him play. You're saying he's the greatest and of all times and stuff like that. And I get it. It's hard. It's hard to put one of these lists together without tugging the old heartstrings. So I did my best to make sure I avoided that whole scenario and just kind of looked at the numbers, looked at accomplishments, what they meant to the game. Was it important for them to be on the floor? Was it not important? For them to score all the time. So I took into consideration all those things when I made my list. So let me go through the original top 10 list that is on ESPN and also on the NBA page. And it goes number one, Michael Jordan, at LeBron James at number two, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar at number three, Magic at number four, Kobe at number five, Shaquille O'Neal at number six, Larry Bird at number seven, and Wilt Chamberlain at number eight. At number nine is Bill Russell. And finishing off the list at number 10 is Tim Duncan. That's your list. That is the list, the official list that's out there. Don't know how they got about that, who voted on it, who didn't, but I don't know if it was not team, I'm sorry, fan-based, or was it just analysts, or was it, coaches, and I don't know how that whole list works. I should go look into that and see how that voting goes. So Bob, and like I said, Bob and Andre put their list together. And like I said, I sat back and I listened to their reasoning of why they changed their list the way they did and moved who out of the top 10 and and who they moved in. And again, we are talking about two individuals that go back, and they go way back, and they remember a lot of the games from the 60s and 70s and 80s and, until current times. So they've seen a lot of players play. My knowledge of basketball goes back to, maybe late 70s, into the 80s when I started really focusing on basketball. Of course, Michael Jordan drew a lot of kids in the 80s to the game of basketball. Like I said, Michael Jordan brought a lot of my generation in the late 80s, mid 80s, 84, to back into basketball and paying him more attention to it. He was just a phenomenal player. And of course, just going to let you guys know right off the bat, Michael is not changing from that number one spot. And that's my opinion. Again, this is my opinion. And Michael stays there. Mike's the I mean, come on. He changed the face of the game. He brought in a new generation of people into the NBA to watch. And he's just, like I said, just a phenomenal player. So, Michael, I'm going to give you a heads up right now. Michael stays on that list at the number one spot. I did make a lot of changes to my list. And I'm going to do my best to explain why I made those changes. And you guys can let me know down in the comments what you think. Am I crazy? Am I nuts? Am I, give me boos? Do what you want. That's what makes this fun. It's just fans of basketball, baseball. But we all have this argument: who's the greatest? Who's the best? And it's fun. It keeps the sport alive. It keeps it keeps it fun. So. Again, Michael is staying in the number one spot. At the number two spot, this list is LeBron James. And don't get me wrong, I am going to not vote with what he does off court, his nonsense, all that stuff on Twitter. I don't care about that. What I care about is what LeBron does when he plays the game. So, does LeBron stay at number two? In my opinion, absolutely not. And I'm going to explain that to you here in a second. Here, I am bumping Kareem back up into the two spot, and I'm keeping him there because, for one, he's got the scoring title. Let's be, he has the for now. Next year, LeBron will surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I believe at that moment, and when it does happen, I believe then LeBron can make that step into that number two spot. But right now, my opinion, um, LeBron cannot be number two. That's my opinion. You got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 1,560 games. He's averaged 24.6 points per game, 11 rebounds per game, 3.6 assists for a big man. Shot 55.9 field goal percentage. It was just he even put up some threes. I mean, it wasn't a great number, for threes, but 72% free throw shooter as well. I mean, 6 championships. 71, 80, 82, 85, 87, and 88. 2 NBA final MVPs, 5 MVPs, one-time Defensive Player of the Year. That is the reason why I'm keeping LeBron at number two. I mean, I'm sorry, pushing up Kareem back to the number two spot for now. I think by the time LeBron ends his career next year, if he wins, if he ends up surpassing LeBron in points, these are all big things. And I think these are things that justify him moving into that number two spot. But for right now, if you look across the board, all right, like I was saying, LeBron James, 1,366 games. He's averaging 30 points per game, eight rebounds per game, 6.2 an assist, 52.4 field goal percentage, 39% from the threes, and shot 75% at the free throw line. Yes, he has 4 championships, 2012, 2013, 16, and 20, 4 MVPs, and 4 MVP finals. Yeah, right. I think so. Four NBA MVPs and 4 NBA final MVPs. He's never won Defensive Player of the Year. So I'm taking that into consideration how I vote sometimes, because I think when you say the greatest of all time, I think that's important that you were at least a great, not great like the number one spot as far as the Defensive Player of the Year, but at least mentioned in that realm somewhere. And LeBron has never won a Defensive Player of the Year. So I'm going to keep LeBron at the number 3 spot and move Kareem up just because of the numbers and the fact that, Kareem still holds that record. So again, when LeBron does surpass him next year, if he does, we don't know. He could get hurt. He could decide tomorrow he doesn't want to play anymore. So until that happens, and unless he wins, I'm not going to say, let me take that back. I'm not going to say unless he wins another championship, but it would help if he wins another championship and gets that scoring title. He moves up to that number 2 spot. So again, Kareem moves up to number 2 and LeBron goes down to number 3. And that's the way I have it. And at the number 4 spot, the NBA and the whoever else voted had Magic in there. And granted, Magic, one hell of a player, great player, amazing to watch. But I myself pushed Russell up. Bill Russell moves up into that spot, and Bill was on the other list as the where was Bill ranked on that other list here? Let me see. Bill was ranked number 9, so I'm moving Bill from 9 to 4. And I'm going to tell you why. Bill Russell moves up past Magic for many reasons. For me, he's a 4-time MVP, 6-time Defensive Player of the Year, arguably the greatest defensive player in NBA history. Oh, and by the way, yes, I'm going to say it, 11 rings. So to me, those numbers are hard not to be in the top 5. When you have numbers like that, it's hard to be in the top 5. Do the Celtics win without Bill Russell? I don't think so. I mean, you can argue the point that they might have had somebody else in that role that could have did what Russell did. But, when you go back and you look at Russell's numbers, it's hard to argue. I mean, he did play in 963 games. He averaged 15 points per game. He had 22 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists. Shot 44% at the field goal range. I'm sorry, 44% is shooting percentage. and he shot 56.1 at the free throw line. But again, arguably the best defensive player in NBA history, in my opinion. And you can look it up. You can find it. You'll see it. He's right up there as one of the greatest defensive players to ever play the game. And to me, that justifies a move up from 9 to number 4 and surpassing everybody else that was on that list. Because I mean, to me, he's better than Wilt Chamberlain. To me, he's better than Larry Bird. To me, he's better than Shaq. To me, he's better than Kobe and Magic. So for me, this is my list. So you guys can argue. Like I said, you guys can give me all the booze you want, but I am moving. I'm moving Bill up. Bill is moving up from 9 to number 4 in my book. In my book, that's where I'm sorry. Yeah, yes, that is correct. He's moving up from 9 to 4 in my book. At the number 5 spot, kind of tough. I'm leaving Kobe. Kobe was the 5th on the other list, and Kobe's staying there. 1,346 games, averaged 25 points a game, 5.2 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists per game, shot 44% from the field. 32% from three-point land, and had an 83.7 free throw percentage. 5 championship rings in 2000, 2001, 2, 9, and 10. 1-time MVP, 2 times final MVP. He never won a Defensive Player of the Year. But I look at Shaq and who they had on this on the list, and I felt that Kobe. He needed to stay at 5. I mean, for obvious reasons, like I said, and let's not forget, he's man, it's Kobe. He's the 4th most points in NBA history with 33,928 points. So I mean, it's hard to move him away from that 5 spot. So I'm going to keep Kobe at number 5. On the number 6 spot, they had Shaquille on there. Don't get me wrong, man. Shaquille was a dominating force on the basketball court. Is Shaq the 6th best player in NBA history? He was the 4th worst free throw shooter in NBA history. 3rd best center in NBA history as well. So you got to give him that. He's played in 1,200 games, averaged 23 points per game, 2.5 assists, shot field goal percentage of 58. 4 championships, 2000, 2001, 2, and 6. 3-time final MVP, 1-time MVP in 2000. Again, 0 Defensive Player of the Year. So to me, do I want to keep Shaq there? Is Shaq the guy that I want there? Is Shaq the 6th best? And I can't give that to Shaq. I can't. It's tough. For me at that number 6 spot, I am moving a Wilt Chamberlain up to that spot. Will jumps past Larry and passes Shaq on stats. Are about the same across the board for both of those. If you look at the stats, they're about the same. But Bill, with overall numbers and records, move him up, in my opinion. I mean, 72 NBA records, 68 by himself, averaged 22.9 rebounds for a career, or 50.4 points per game in a season, scored over 100 points, over 55 rebounds in a single game, scored 65 or more points 15 times, 50 or more points 118 times. Give me a break. Shaq couldn't do that on his fucking best day of his best year of his life. He couldn't match those numbers. So for me, does Will have the championships? No, Will doesn't have the championships. Did Will ever win a Defensive Player of the Year? No, he didn't. But he did win 2 championships in 67 and 72. He had 1 NBA Final MVP and a 4-time MVP. But like I said, I mean, Will was just as dominant as Shaq was, and those numbers, to own those numbers in the NBA in history, for me, Shaq has to be the 6th best player in the NBA. That's for me, and I think he surpasses both Larry and Shaq and moves up from that spot to number 6. The number 7 spot was occupied by Larry Bird. Great player. 897 games, averaged 24 points per game, 10 rebounds per game, 6.3 in assist, shot 49% from the field, 86, 88 from the free throw line, 3 championships in 81, 84, and 86, 2 NBA final MVPs, 3 consecutive times MVP, 84 through 86. But again, 0 defensive players of the year. Do I keep Larry at the number 7 spot? No, I don't. I don't keep Larry at the 7 spot. Get the booze. That's Bob. That's Bob right now. Bob is giving me that. Our co-host, my co-host, Bob Sharp. Yeah, he's right now. He's pissed off, I'm sure, when he sees this. But I'm sorry. Man, here we go. You guys ready for this? I'm moving Tim Duncan up from 10 to that spot. Tim Duncan, to me, deserves to be the 7th best player in the NBA. So for me, Tim Duncan goes from 10 to 7. Tim moves up from 10 to 7, takes it away from Larry. I mean, 2 MVPs, 3 NBA final MVPs, 13 consecutive seasons as both All NBA and All Defensive Team. And let's not forget, he's number 15 in all-time scoring in the NBA. How does he go? How is Tim Duncan a 10 and Larry Bird a 7? It just, to me, I'm sorry. I'm going by the stats. I understand Larry was a great player. I understand he did some amazing things. And I think that's what people remember, is just these little moments of greatness that are just replayed over and over in our minds because we've seen him on TV over and over and again. And I think they're not taking into consideration how great of a player Tim Duncan was, because they just, they're off back in the 80s, and I'm sorry. Tim Duncan, to me, is a much better player. One-on-one, Larry Bird, Tim Duncan. I think Tim Duncan takes him every single time. I'm sorry. All right, so Tim moves in from the 10 spot to the 7 spot, and that's how it is, baby. At number 8 on the NBA list, they had Wilt Chamberlain. And again, Wilt Chamberlain, the worst free thrower in history, blah, 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 all that. We understand. I understand that. I understand why. I explained to you guys why I moved Wilt up to 6 from 7. I moved Wilt from 8 to 6. And the 8th spot, man, here we go. We're going to upset some people. We're at the 8th spot. They had Wilt Chamberlain. And I put Hakeem Olajuwon in that 8th spot. I move Hakeem up from 12 to 8. Number 15 in all-time scoring in the NBA, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. It's just, I mean, come on, dude. I mean, I had to make that change, and to me, he's bumped out some people, as you can see. He's bumped out Shaq, and so. But I think Shaq was a great player. Don't get me wrong, but I just think, to me, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year, 15th in all-time in scoring. It just moves him up, surpasses Shaq, and for a couple of reasons. And I know he doesn't have as many championships as Shaq does, and he wasn't on so many great teams. But we're talking about an NBA player, in my opinion. It just was just a phenomenal player. So he moves into that spot at number 8, and here we go. The NBA at the number 9 spot had Bill Russell, which of course now we know that I had moved Bill Russell up to the number 4 spot where he belongs, not number 9, but number 4. So at the number 9 spot, I have number 9 spot, I put Larry there. Larry drops from 7 to 9. Great player, just doesn't have the numbers to be number 7, in my opinion. Like I said, Larry is a great player, did some amazing things. But when you look up the numbers and you look at the scoring and you look at defense and all this other stuff, he just doesn't make my list. To me, I don't find Larry Bird worthy of being the 7th best player. Is 0 Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, he won 3 championships. Yes, he won 3 consecutive MVPs as well. But to me, Larry Bird is not the 7th best NBA player in history. Larry, to me, does fit right into that 9 spot. And at number 10, the NBA had, who did they have on there? They had Tim Duncan at 10. Of course, we know I have moved Tim Duncan up. Tim had to. Tim moved up to 7 from 10. And in the 10 spot, great player. Don't get me wrong. Don't let me hear the boos. Magic Johnson. Magic drops from 4 to 10. Great player again, has the numbers. But, God, is he the fourth best player in the NBA? I mean, is he really? I mean, honestly, do you feel that he is the fourth best player in NBA history? He played 906 games. He averaged 19 and a half points per game, 7.2 in rebounds, 11 assists a game, shot 52 from the floor, 30% from 3-point land, and 84% field goal. Yeah, he has 5 championships, 80, 82, 85, 87, 88. Three-time MVP finalist, three-time MVP, final MVP, three-time MVP, and again, 0 defensive player of the year. He's not known for his defense. He wasn't, he was known as a passer. He wasn't known for scoring as well. And, for where he sits on that list of all-time scores, it doesn't justify a number 4 spot, in my opinion. So, number 4, no. Number 10, yeah. So that's my list, guys. I know I'm going to get some shit for that list, but I'm going to go through it one more time. Jordan's the king. He sits at the top for now. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, he moves from 3 to 2, and like I said, he holds that spot, and I think until LeBron, who is at number 3 on my list, surpasses him in points, as well as if he can get another championship. I don't know. It's kind of hard. I don't want to say if he wins another championship and gets the points that he doesn't get that number 2 spot. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. Do I think he gets another ring? Maybe, because he might work some kind of deal and get on some kind of team. You know how LeBron is, and I guess that's where he gets a lot of shit for. But again, if he gets another ring and he passes Kareem in points, he moves up to that number 2 spot, hands down. He gets that. I mean, but we don't know. He can decide tomorrow morning that he doesn't want to play again, and then end of story. He stays at that 3 spot. And number 4, I put Bill Russell in there, obvious for reasons. I explained myself why. Kobe is at the number 5 spot. Will is number 6. Number 7 is Tim Duncan. Hakeem Olajuwon, number 8. Larry Bird, number 9. And rounding off the number 10 is Magic Johnson. That's my list. Bob, sorry, buddy. I'm trying. I didn't put Larry there to piss you off. I just looking at the numbers and looking at just the importance of Larry Bird on his team, and the importance of these other players on their teams, and what they did, what they accomplished, the records that they have set throughout their career, and the importance of them when they're on the floor, and what it meant, win or loss for them. And for me, this is my list. And you guys let me know in the comments what you guys think. Am I crazy or am I not crazy? Does my list sound good? If let me know. Again, I'll wrap it up one more time. Michael, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 3, LeBron James. Number 4, Bill Russell. Number 5, Kobe. Number 6, Wilt Chamberlain. Number 7, Tim Duncan. Number 8, Hakeem Olajuwon. Number 9, Larry Bird. And rounding off at the top 10, Magic Johnson. Hey, guys, we'll see everybody on our next show. Thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up, a like, whatever. Subscribe. I don't know all that nonsense they say. But I hope you enjoyed this. And like I said, I needed to get my list out there. And I hope I don't piss too many people off. Have a great day.